on to the Dana Show. If you're not watching live, welcome to the replay. So the Dana Show's a business show about where I interview other business owners and entrepreneurs. And today we have Alease Michelle Jones. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited that you're here. So a little bit of backstory. How did we meet?
Well, we met in a community on Facebook, which is live stream, like a streaming platform on Facebook. And I reached out to you. I saw that you were looking for people to interview. I reached out and now I'm on the show.
As easy as that. That's awesome. Well, I'm really excited that you are on my show, and I'm glad we met through that platform, I guess, because I think that's really neat and unique. But why are you on the show? What business do you run? How long have you been a business owner? Have you owned it your whole life?
That would be an old business.
Fair enough.
So here, what I do is I am a business coach, or online marketing and business coach to other coaches, life coaches and business coaches. And I'm also the founder of the Lady Boss Club, which is a done for you content creation membership. So, because I know that most of my coaches struggle with coming up with content on a consistent basis. So that's what the membership helps them with. I've been doing this full time for about 2.5 years, part time for 4 years. And even before that, I was a college professor where I taught marketing for 19 years.
Wow. Okay. So you've been in the marketing space for
a very long time.
Yes. Very long time. That's awesome. So I feel like you can really speak to like how important marketing is in a business. And that's what you coach people
Right. That's exactly what I coach. And in particular, a lot of my coaches that hire me are transitioning from the traditional marketing to online marketing. Although online and internet marketing has been around for me, seem like eons, some people still haven't caught on that if you want to reach a bigger audience, a broader audience, you definitely need to be online. So a lot of the people who are hiring me are just like confused about how do you translate this traditional marketing to online.
I see. So do you kind of have two businesses where you do content creation, which is basically like you're helping businesses market, and then you also coach businesses on how to get better at marketing?
Yes, ma'am. And so so here's how it happened. When I first started my business, I was just strictly doing the coaching. That's it. And either in a group setting, in an online class setting, one-on-one. And literally before I retired from being a college professor, I realized that one of the things that was that I wanted to leave was that I don't know how to say this in a good way, so I'm just going to say it. The personal one-on-one interaction was too much for me. Like I was just tired of that. And so what I did in the past 1.5 years was looked at all the things that my clients were asking me to do for them. And a lot of it was content. Like I would do maybe some kind of marketing or webinar, and they would come to me and say, well, can I use that? Can you help me put together my PowerPoint slides? Can you help me? And I was like, you know what, let me just offer this in a membership and see what happens. And so now the membership has allowed me not to have as many clients, to help me get income in every month. But what is also happened is because I have the membership, I'm getting more clients. Like, it's like crazy. So, yeah.
So it's less money, but more clients. Is that kind of less money?
The membership has almost like 70% replaced my monthly income that I was making from coaching.
Wow.
But what has happened is because people know that I'm the founder of this membership, they now are reaching out to me even more for one-on-one coaching.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, so sometimes I have to say no to people. I'm not taking new clients for a while. At the beginning of January, I literally had to turn down maybe about 5 or 6 clients and said, I'm not doing any one-on-one clients at all.
No kidding.
Yeah, because I couldn't focus. I know we're so off tangent right now, but I wanted to concentrate on growing the membership. And I couldn't do that when I was trying to do this and a little bit of this and this. And so
Yeah.
I get really distracted or overwhelmed really easy. So I knew where I needed to pull back. And that was one of the things that I had to pull back on.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it sounds like it's you pulled back to go forward, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So marketing. What do businesses do wrong? What are businesses missing out on? Why do you think it's so important?
Well, I think this is probably going to answer all of your questions. Did you just ask me?
Okay.
I think what most companies are missing out on is providing value first and not always selling. And the value could be from doing shows like you're doing right now. The value could be posting and offering tips, giving instructions, demos behind the scenes, stuff like that. People really want to know who they are dealing with or who they're giving their money to before they actually buy. And I think a lot of businesses are missing out on that opportunity. And I think the reason why they're missing out on that opportunity of providing content or valuable content is because it takes time to do this. It is so easy to get someone to design some flyer or and post, or it's easy to, put an ad in, one of those newspaper things, those little flyers that come in the mail, that direct mail stuff. And I know that stuff still works, but if you're trying to reach a whole nother generation, direct mail sometimes doesn't work. I mean, we leave stuff in the mailbox for weeks before we realize that we need to go check the mailbox kind of stuff. So I think a lot of companies are missing out that they need to start producing content, and it doesn't have to be Gary Vaynerchuk way, because Gary Vaynerchuk is a beast with putting out content, but at least have something out there that people can go to. I mean, even if it's YouTube videos, I know we're doing this on YouTube, show some YouTube videos of people using your product. That's easy. And because people like me go to YouTube to look to see how to use the product. Or here's another thing. We go to YouTube to see people opening up the package before we buy.
Right. Yep, I've done that.
Yeah, see? So yeah, I think that's a very opportunity that I think they're missing out on. And I think that's why a lot of small businesses are killing the big ones, are just like killing them because they have time to put the content together.
Yeah, interesting. So your membership basically does that for you.
Yes. It does. For business coaches and life coaches, it does.
Coaches and life coaches. Okay. So that's kind of like a plug and play. So if they don't have time to do all the content, they're still able to put the content out through you. And that's their way of giving value before they're selling something.
Right. It gives them, the content inside of the Lady Boss Club gives them basically everything they need, from if they want to do a weekly webinar, if they want to produce a low value course, if they need blog posts, if they need weekly content for a newsletter, if they need content to help them do their live shows. Like sometimes, you don't even know what you're going to talk about if you do a Facebook Live on a weekly basis. So they can actually use the content inside of the Lady Boss Club to actually, have a jumping start for their Facebook Live. They can use the content to pull out little tips to share on social media. So it's like a plug and play, which, the members love it. They're always reaching out to me, like they, sharing with people. That's how the membership has actually grown, with them sharing it to other people. So,
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, well, that's the best kind of marketing is word of mouth.
Yes,
so that's smart that you've captured that. So, your membership. Now, why is that? How, maybe I'm asking, I'll try to ask this and let me know if you want me to rephrase it. But so you started that after you were giving tips and free value to that client, those prospects basically. And is that how you got them into the membership? So you used your own system?
Yes, I did. Exactly. So I use my exact same system to get members. So I have a weekly show as well called the Coach to Coach Show. And I offer content on that, like maybe 5 ways that you can get new clients, or, how do you start your coaching program? So I create the PowerPoint slides. So I don't, I show them how I'm using the slides as well on my Facebook Live. So I'm using the slides. Sometimes I'm actually using the same slides that they would use inside of the membership, but now they're actually getting to see me teach it. Like, where did I throw my stories in there? How did I tweak it and change it a little bit? But yes, and then at the end of my weekly show, I sell them into the Lady Boss Club. I just sort of drop like a really soft sell and say, hey, if you love this kind of presentation, if you're a new coach and you need to build authority, you need to reach out to more people, then you definitely want to join the Lady Boss Club. And then I give the link. So, yeah.
Neat. Wow. Now, can men join that group?
Yes. They can. And a lot of men have asked me about that. And so I have maybe about 4 or 5 men in the group right now. But my target market is women entrepreneurs or women coaches.
Yeah. Okay. Neat. So you have a really unique perspective because you've coached so many business owners, female entrepreneurs. So what would you say are pros and cons of being an entrepreneur owning a business?
Oh, one is, one of the cons would be you get this shiny object syndrome. Like you see things, you're like, oh, I want to try this. Oh, I want to try this. And that's a good thing with an entrepreneur because you always have an open mind to new things. But the second, I guess, con again would be you want to do too much and you get overwhelmed with it because we have so many ideas, right? The pro thing is you get to control what you want to do and not do. It was easy for me to say in January that I did not want to take new clients, and that was my choice, right? It's easy when I saw a post a couple of days ago, like in your memories, in Facebook memories. And it was a post that I was sick. And I wrote and said, if I was at work right now, I would be feeling, if I was still working my 9 to 5, I would be feeling guilty that I'm at home sick. Or I would have been working from home trying to do the work as if I was at work. And so I would have never got the true rest. So being my own boss and being an entrepreneur allowed me to say, okay, you know what? If I want to work, I'll work. If I need to rest and lay on the couch and just, chill out and watch some TV as is, I get over my sickness, that's my choice. So freedom would be probably the biggest pro to it. And if you're doing a business that you love, like I do, I'm working it all the time, like all the time. And so sometimes it doesn't even feel like work. I have to say, when people ask me, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I work my business. I'm on social media. I'm like looking for content. I'm like creating content. I'm like doing a video. That to me is when you know that you're meant to be an entrepreneur.
Wow. I love that. So it's like you've built, I think the quote people usually use is you've built a life that you don't want a vacation from, because
Correct.
This is your vacation. This is what you do for.
Right.
Wow. That's neat. So what advice would you give to an entrepreneur who's maybe stuck or just can't really figure out how to make the transition from the 9 to 5 to the working the dream job every day?
That's a good question. I would think if you're stuck, Okay, so I know I feel like I'm just talking so much, but if you're stuck, I would say maybe look at the reason why you're stuck. Are you stuck because you're comparing yourself to somebody else, where they are, and you think you should be at that same level, but not realize that that person had to start from point A first before they got to point Z. So if that's the case, then that is an internal thing. But if it's an external thing that is keeping you from leaving your 9 to 5, maybe not getting sales, not getting clients or whatever, then I would say that you need to reevaluate, is that your ideal client? Or are you selling the right product to that person, right? And because those are the two things. It's either an internal thing or it's an external reason that you're stuck. And sometimes those can be the same thing. Like you can be stuck for both reasons, like comparing yourself and that you just don't have the right product. And it's okay. And I want to say this to everybody. It is okay to change your mind. Like if you thought this was going to be like the next best thing, or it just doesn't work, and you change in the mid of creating this new thing, it's okay. It really is. It's okay to leave that alone and go to something else. But as long as you know that you're not hopping from one thing to another because you think it's the next best thing. I think if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's kind of like a difference between the shiny object syndrome, where you're just jumping around and you don't have focus, to understanding maybe this isn't your passion like you thought it was.
Right. Not your passion, or that what you thought would make money is not making money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Well, very neat. I've learned a lot, Alease. Thank you so much for being on my show. And before I let you go, do you have any, that was pretty good advice, but do you have any advice for other business owners, maybe other coaches or life coaches on, I don't know, anything regarding business and starting a business?
I would just say, whatever the gift or passion that God has put into you, that's yours, and you should work it to achieve whatever you were supposed to achieve. So regardless of what someone says that, oh, that's not possible, or, you've been working at this so long, don't you need to just change your mind and do something different? If that's what drives you, and every day that you're supposed to be doing this, then do it regardless of what someone else says. Because I think a lot of times we make decisions based off what somebody else has told us that we should be doing. So be in your own little box, be in your own little world, work your dream, work your passion. And, you are the only person that you have to please. And that's it.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Well, thank you, Alease. Thank you again for being on the Dana Show. It was so fun having you, and I hope to see you soon.
You will. Well, thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Bye-bye.